century and a half ago, the heartland of America was much as it is today. An endless sea of fertile soil, occasionally marked by a lone farmhouse or a silo. In small towns like Chicago, not far from here, there were more acres of corn and alfalfa than city blocks. The streets were unpaved, and the tallest building was no higher than a wooden barn. The railroad is what made Chicago a city, bringing grain, cattle, and hogs to market. It's been said that the meatpacking plants used everything but the squeal. Great ships traveled over Great Lakes to make Chicago a thriving port, and the backbone of the entire region was made of steel. The stockyards, shipping, and steel all put Chicago on the map. And in time, one more thing was added to the list. Architecture. Chicago was known worldwide as a capital of modern architecture. It was here that legends like Frank Lloyd Wright, Louis Sullivan, and Mies van der Rohe drafted the new language of design that shaped the skyline of Chicago. Their influence carried on to architectural firms like Skidmore, Owings & Merrill, who designed the world's tallest building, Sears Tower. Standing more than 1,500 feet and weighing in at a mere 222,000 tons, the Sears Tower would leave even Frank Lloyd Wright speechless. Critics have called the tower an architectural icon, marking the height of modernism. At 110 stories and 2,200 steps to the top, it is the epitome of skyscraper. Somewhere between Chicago and heaven. The Sears Tower contains enough concrete to build an 8-lane freeway 5 miles long and contains 43,000 miles of telephone cable. A call from the lobby to the sky deck could be considered long distance. On a clear day, 4 states are visible from the sky deck: Illinois, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Indiana. But for most people, as they stand over a quarter-mile high, just looking out over the city of Chicago is view enough. Morning in the Windy City begins much the same each day. Commuters crowd onto rush hour trains, thread their way through the urban din, and wind up somewhere in the canyons of concrete and steel called downtown Chicago. But few people get a chance to see the city from its most revealing perspective, from above, over Chicago. Chicago, that toddling town. The statue series, Greek Goddess of Grain, is poised for another hectic day at the Chicago Board of Trade. Cars stream by Lincoln Park and into the heart of the city. Carl Sandburg once called Chicago a city of big shoulders, a working man's town. Now, it's the buildings that crowd shoulder to shoulder and compete for attention. Chicago's lakefront is one of its greatest assets, and it seems like there is a park for every president. Grant, Lincoln, Garfield, and Jackson, to name a few. The city is known for its mosaic of cultures and neighborhoods, from Devon Avenue up north to Hyde Park in the South End. And Chicago is a city that takes culture, exploring, and just having fun seriously. Chicago at night. It's famous for the blues, a style of music that migrated from the Mississippi Delta to juke joints in the south side of town. From Memphis Slim to Buddy Guy, bluesmen have a passion for playing when things are just plain bad. I make my living feeling rotten, one lyric goes, but I feel good when I play the blues. According to Chicago legend, it was Muddy Waters who invented electricity. When you see places like the Wrigley Building all lit up at night in downtown Chicago, it must be the blues hard at work. In the heartlands of America, there still are plenty of wide open spaces. But most paths now lead to Chicago, this small town that grew up along the shores of Lake Michigan and dared to stand just a little bit taller than every other city in America. Chicago, America's kind of town.